G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel and another video. We are going to install today an ITG intake. So I bought this intake second hand. This came up dirt cheap on the Australia Fiesta page, so Declan, thank you very much. Shipping was awesome, he packed it really well. He has recommended that I clean and oil this, so I will oil and clean I'll order a kit and get that done, but for today I'm just going to install it and we'll see what it sounds like. So we've got all of our brackets here. I'll go through step by step on how to install all of that. This comes out of your S-pipe and houses your MAF, and then this attaches here and goes underneath the headlight where this will sit. How good is that pointer? We'll take a look at what we are replacing. So this car from new, when I bought it new, had the MP215 kit added by Ford. So we do have the mount tune airbox, and I've got to admit, in regards to intake temps and whatnot, this thing is probably about as good as you're going to get, especially with the extra air feed down below. And I've actually got that hooked up at the moment to my fog light duct, which has a fog light in it. So we're going to remove this. To get to it, now Mighty Car Mods will tell you the first step is to jack up your car, but they've obviously never worked on a Fiesta ST or any sort of Fiesta, because the first step is to remove your damn headlight. So I'll go through that now. Removing your headlight is really simple on these. It's a T30 Torx here. That is just a Phillips head screwdriver, but it's one of these clips that if it just spins inside the clip, maybe just try and get a little flathead underneath the screw itself, and then that should come free. You've got your electrical connectors down under here, and on the other side it's much easier to get to. That's right here. And then it's a second T30 Torx bit up here, and then once they're all out and it's disconnected, you basically just grab the headlight around here and wiggle it free. It's still hooked in underneath by a white clip, which you'll see soon anyway. So once that's out, I don't need it to get that out. I'm going to have better access all around to remove all this, so I'm going to do that first. This is all I've used. Oops. This is all I've used to remove the headlight, T30 Torx and a Phillips head screwdriver. These are the little buggers that can get a bit tricky. So the idea is to get your Phillips head in there and have as little pressure as possible pushing down so that it can screw up. With the headlight removed, you can actually see where this is going to go now. So this is going to come out, it's actually going to go down. This wiring junction is going to get relocated just over here on a bracket, and then the filter will sit under here. It'll all make sense. Trust the system. Removing the airbox is very, very easy. What I am going to do is remove this line, so it's got two tangs on each side. Just push them out a little bit and up, and then pull that off. That'll just give me a bit more wobble room with the S-pipe. This, I believe, is a 7mm socket or a flathead screwdriver to undo this clamp. That's the same as standard anyway. To remove your MAF, pull the red tab up and just pull that out. I'll keep that in the airbox until I need to transfer it over to the ITG. I've got the Dark Ice Designs bonnet struts, so this is in my way a little bit. I'll just move that out of the way, because you want to get a little flathead screwdriver under here. You want to dislodge this so that when you undo this, you can just pull the airbox out. Now what I also need to do is just down in there, you can't really see, I've got the duct hose attached to it, which, as you can see there, I just need to remove that so that it can all come out as one. So this is what it looks like now. I've undone this clamp and wiggled it free here. That's undone. I've popped that out and moved that out of the way. And obviously you can see I've started to lift it. I have seen some videos where people have pulled this and undone this, but you don't need to. That's just an extra sort of, an extra wedge, I suppose, to keep it locked in while you're driving. So now if you have a standard airbox, or if you don't have the ducting attached, you can just pull that out. It's straight up. That's only mounted at the back here by 2 grommets, but I'm just going to get in there. I'm going to remove that ducting and then pull it out. We'll take a closer look at the brackets now. You've got this L bracket, which is going to hold the wiring junction in place. So we're going to relocate the wiring junction. This bracket is what actually sits underneath the pipework, just to hold it in place. And this rubber harness goes over the top to hold it in place. We've also got a spacer here as well, just to help this fit better. And this is where it's all going to go. We'll remove this rubber grommet. That's where the L bracket is going to bolt to, so that we can relocate this over here. So then we've got a nice pathway right down there. The bracket that's actually going to hold the pipe in place, there's a little nut and bolt down here and one here. So that's where that's going to sit, and it's going to secure it in place, and the filter will sit underneath. So we've got our bolt, a washer, and the bracket. And then we've got this, it's almost like a nut, but it's, I don't know what that's called, like a nut sort of insert with its own washer. So that one will go under. Okay, so that's loosely in. That's going to sit there, and then we're going to have to relocate this. Okay, so this, when this is connected and this is clicked over, I just used a flathead screwdriver very gently just to pry that open, and then that, as you can see, just slot in there like that. So you just sort of got to lift that way and push down, just so that it doesn't get stuck here as well. So that's that. So now we're going to relocate this over here. We're going to cut that cable tie just so that we can move that a bit more, and then that should sit up. We'll cable tie it to this. So the L bracket is facing the back and then straight up facing the battery, and then that's how I've got that cable tied on. I did actually play with orienting that down, but unfortunately there was just too much pressure on the wires and I didn't feel comfortable leaving it there. And the little bolt here is a 5mm Allen key. And now that that's also strapped down, as you can see, we are ready. I'm going to put the whole ITG kit together. It literally just fits together. And then from there, I'm going to fit it loosely so that we can get it in position before we screw everything up. So the ITGs usually loosely fit together. None of the clamps are done up. Just make sure that the logos line up. That's a good starting point. And the pointy end, so the more narrow end, is going to fit up in here. So that's generally the orientation that it's going to go. We can adjust it once it's in. Now we'll move on to the spacer and the bracket. So this is the bracket that's going to actually hold the silicone pipe in place with the rubber harness. And now you can better see these two nuts and bolts sticking out. One just here, one just here. Now, the holes on the bracket and the spacer will fit over those nuts. And because I've bought this second hand, I do only have one nut and washer to go on, but that'll do for now. I'll try and source another one. We'll see if the seller's got it hanging around somewhere. But one should hold it in place okay for now. And I'll do that and I'll show you what it looks like. To get the spacer on first, it's shaped like this with the cutout because you've got the ridge here. So that'll go over the nuts and over the ridge, and the same with this, it's got the cutout and it shall go over also. Like so. And then you should actually get two of these. I've only got one. It's a washer and a nylock nut. So I'll do that up by hand. And that'll hold it in place for now. I'll try and source a second bolt just to be super secure. So the nylock nut I used was a 13mm. And now just to show you, because I won't be able to show you once this is on, this bracket is shaped in a particular way that these can clip on, and then they'll stretch over and clip on, and they'll hold it in place. So I've only got that on there loosely for now just to show you. We'll tighten it all up and then we'll get this on. So now we've got the ITG in place. So you just need to create a little bit of a gap here because the very bottom of the headlight sticks underneath your bumper. These have all been a 7mm socket for me. These are a 3mm Allen key, which I'm going to fit the MAF sensor now, and that'll just plug in there. And just don't forget to plug this one in. Pretty hard with one hand, but there you go. And then once the headlight's back in now and the MAF sensor's in, we'll start it up, we'll go for a drive, see how it sounds. The standard bolts to get it out of your stock lid are a T20 fitting. Now, they make it really simple on the ITG. You can't really get this the wrong way round. If you can read ITG and it's the right way, that's going to be the right way, because you want the air going in there, and this will only fit in one way. If I put it in wrong, you can see it doesn't really line up. But if you put it in the right way so that the air is feeding into it, you can see that it lines up nicely. So let's get that in, headlight in, and done. Just a quick view of what it looks like all finished. Everything's back together. I need to cut this tape just to undo the wiring a little bit, just so that I could maybe push it out, I don't know, just so that I can refit that. But essentially, that is done. Everything's tightened up, everything's in place. This little bastard's got to go in, but I'll do that off camera. Alright, let's take it for a drive. Alright, thought I'd just bring it up a hill just to show you the sound. Driven it for a while now, there's no weird things happening with the car. It's actually pretty quiet inside the car. We'll show you around this next bend, and then I'll wind the windows down after that. So you can hear the diverter valve louder, but the actual intake noise you can't hear much inside the car. Even going slow up a hill where it's doing its most sucky thing, definitely louder than stock and the mount-tune airbox, but I'll wind the windows down a little bit and we'll go again. assume it's its positioning where it is. It's on the other side of the chassis rail, right next to the front guard. So I think because it's tucked away down there, and maybe the size and style of filter, it's not as loud as other intakes I've had in the past. But the inlet air temps, it's a pretty humid day. Even though it's raining, it's really humid still today. The temperature's just dropped to 27. And under boost, I'm getting 30 degrees intake air temps on the Luffy. So the air temp, the intake air temp is pretty good. Alright, thank you for watching my ITG install video. I have taken it for a drive. This is a good medium in between getting a bit of intake noise and not sounding like a knob. So I kind of like it. With the windows down, you can definitely hear it. It's still fairly quiet. I assume because of where it's positioned right under the headlight. I have had intakes where the filter's here before and it's been pretty loud. So this is a pretty good medium. Now, if you have been following on Facebook as well, I did make a post. I did get the spanner light and the check engine service now. I've taken it out for another drive and that didn't come up. So as soon as I turned it off and turned it back on, it cleared. I did readjust everything just to double check that I didn't, you know, create a leak or didn't put anything on straight. So I've double checked everything. I've loosened it all up. I've adjusted it. I've tightened it all up. I took the MAF sensor out, it's dry, there's no oil on it and there's no foam in it. So fingers crossed it's fixed and it's not just something to do with the tune or something to do with the hardware, but it drove fine the second time, 2 sort of half-hour trips. But all in all, I really like it and I hope that that spanner light stays away because I want to keep that. I really like it. My little pointer got a workout today, got dirty. So I've got my hand dirty. Stick around, there's more videos to come. I've got a powered subwoofer to install for under the seat. I've got my boost gauge. Who remembers that from about 2.5, 3 years ago? I've still got it. I still want to put it in. I've got some time off work, so that's one of my projects. What else have I got? My track day from Pro Speed Racing. That is coming as well. I'll put this one out first. So I've got a few videos coming, so make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Most of my views come from me sharing these in Facebook groups, so it'd be great if you guys subscribe and you guys can just get them as soon as they're uploaded. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for all the sensible responses to the engine light regarding this. I really appreciate it. Gave me a lot of things to double check. Really appreciate it. Thanks again to Declan for selling me this at such a great price. Really happy, never seen one so cheap. That's amazing. And everyone who's given me a quick chat and some support about troubleshooting. I appreciate it. And you guys take care and I'll see you on the next one.